toughest part isn't about the virus at all. It's about following orders. About doing what you're told.
But what I will say of this virus, I think we're in the middle of a massive experiment worldwide. And that
where
is...
are the guinea pigs?
Maybe. The experiment is, will people listen to scientists?
What's up, kiddos? You still alive? I'm alright, thank you. Anyway, here we are at Bill Gates's favorite website. But I guess that depends on which way the wind is blowing, if you catch my drift. And if you hear water droplets, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, time bomb, I figured the noise was appropriate, so I let it be. Here we are. Births this year. Let's look at that one first. Man, so many. Deaths. The births seem to be moving faster, which is why the current world population is growing. But look at the deaths this year number. How about today? 126,000 people died today. You know, when I talk to people about what's happening in the world right now and what's on the television, some of them will freak out because I'm not taking this seriously enough, right? 12 people or 20 or let it be 40 people. 40 people died in Ecuador in the last, what, 2 months or something with the virus. So, how many are dying on the daily, every minute? How many? Tons and tons and tons. No one gave a shit. Nobody gave a shit, but the TV told you to care, and now you're scared. Like, what kind of pussy-filled world do I live in? And why? Why? And no offense to those of you to whom this does not apply, do I live in a world full of fucking morons? So much as there is this huge problem going on, the clock is ticking, talking, and well, the world population seems to be fine. This isn't some kind of extinction level event. Sorry to say. So sorry, guys. Let's look at the virus. Oh wow, 47,000. Didn't the flu kill something like 500,000 last year? So, we got a long way to go still. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not worried. Not about that anyway. So, I was checking out countries. The United States of America. I was checking out the cases, and when you look at these graphs, oh my God! Scary, right? Exponential growth. Look at this graph. Right? Look, it's just skyrocketing, isn't it? But what are we looking at? What are we looking at? So, when you look at the novel cases, new cases every day, starting around, when was it? March 10th, 11th? It was 307, and yesterday there were, come on now, wow, 24,742. And people look at this and they flip out, right? And they hear terms such as, or phrases such as exponential growth and the rate of infection is rising and all this other jibber jabber. That's basically bullshit. So I decided to counter the propaganda a little bit, and I crunched some numbers. We start off on March 11 with 307 cases in the United States. And before I crunch this data, not to be a useful idiot, look, this is so unscientific. I'm appalled at how so many of these so-called scientists, if only in our little carnivore sphere, whatever the hell you want to call it, so many people who say that they are all for science, and this is science and that isn't science, and this is credible and that's not credible. All these people are just accepting this like it ain't no thing. Like this is credible and legit. First of all, assuming that all the tests are accurate or have a high degree of accuracy, which we cannot assume because we know they don't. Assuming that tests were actually used, credible tests were actually used to diagnose people and not just questionnaires, which is what also happened, right? After we assume all that, we still run into the problem of how many tests were administered. And was this a random sample of the population? No, it wasn't. This isn't very rigorous science, if it's even scientific at all. This is biased and skewed data collection. We don't know how many tests were administered on each day overall. So it's very difficult to make much sense of this data. But we're going to try because everybody else has been, so we got to counter their BS. So these are not random samples of the population, and the number of tests done on each day is likely not the same, and it would help to know at least how many were given. Assuming that this data was gathered properly and it's actually credible to, or that it was a random sample of the population, which it wasn't. But assuming all that, if you don't have that, you cannot make any scientific conclusions from this data. Like, come on, Sean Baker, Bart Kay. What are you guys doing? What are you so scared of? What are you so afraid of? Dave Feldman. Anyway, we only talk about science when it's important to us and when we're not scared, because we're going up against feeble, flatulent flagellants. Anyway, so I calculated the rate of growth, the apparent rate of the growth of the virus. So the way you do that is very simple, for those of you who don't know. And the way I got the 7.1% is by taking 329 and subtracting 307. And whatever came out, which was 22, dividing that by 307. That's how you get the rate of growth from the day when they detected 307 cases to the next day when they had 329. And I did that all the way down to today or yesterday, whatever, till yesterday. And this is the rate of growth. 7.1% on one day, 68 the next, 5%, 43. You know, this is what it was. Do you see a pattern? Do you see a pattern? Okay, do you? Well, I'll make it easier for you. I'll take, instead of calculating the rate of growth over a 24-hour period, let's do 48 hours. And I came up with 37.6, 24, 39.9, 61.9, 3.5, 51 point, so on and so forth. Do you see a pattern? Is it starting to emerge yet? No? Well, then I took not 24, not 48, not 72, but what would it be? 96, yeah? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, 96-hour time periods, and I came up with 5. And now the picture becomes pretty clear, right? 30.8, 50.9, 27.6, 16.8, 7.6. Does this look like exponential growth? Does it? Do you know what exponential growth is? Does this look like growth? No, the rate of infection is falling. Now, look, maybe they're just not doing enough tests. And if they're able to administer 100,000 tests in one day, you're going to see a spike probably. Probably. Which, again, isn't to say that's in any way, shape, or form accurate because, you know, how good are these tests, right? But this is the data that the media are looking at. This is what all these so-called scientists are looking at. This is where all these other people are looking at and drawing their conclusions from. So I have to analyze this, and I hate to break it to you. It's not getting any worse. It seems to be dying out. So why are you being told the exact opposite? And then on top of that, there's these hyperbolic statements of exponential growth. This is what exponential growth would look like. The next column of numbers that I compiled there for you. You're welcome. See? So exponential growth is basically you start off with one person infected, and that person in one day will infect two, right? And so on and so forth. So the two people on the second day will infect one person each. So you end up with 4 people infected altogether, right? So each day the number doubles. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the threshold of exponential growth. It could be more than that, but you have to have at least that to be able to call it exponential. Because so far it's not only been linear, but it's also been dropping. Not going up. The rate of infection has been going down dramatically. It spiked there a little bit and it's been falling. Good news, guys. Why isn't the media telling you the good news? Well, why? So, over the same number of days, what was it, 21 or something like that? If you just double the number from day to day, after 21 days or whatever the hell it was, 3 weeks, you end up with what? How many people infected? Well, just in 21 days. I'm not even talking about the 2 months that they've been scaring you about this, or even longer. I don't know when the first time was we heard exponential growth. But in just the last 20 days, you basically have everybody in the United States infected if you had exponential growth. You should be running out of people right now to infect in order to have exponential growth. There is no exponential growth. The rate of infection is falling, and it's falling dramatically. And again, it could go up again if they're able to administer however many tests they're able to administer. This is how simple this shit is. The more you look for it, the more you'll find it. And the worse your means of finding it, quote unquote, finding it, the less credible these numbers should be to anyone. But the long story short, they're telling you to panic over nothing. They're hyping this shit the fuck up. Look at it. Go do your own math. And for all of you who are saying that the rate of infection is going up because the TV told you so, you're just a useful idiot. If you're taking what the TV is telling you and you're analyzing this data and without a critical mindset, outlook, and criticizing how this data has been gathered, if you're not doing any of that, then you're just a useful idiot. Okay? They're lying to you. People are born and people die. You think the average person on this planet would understand this basic truth about our reality. But no, apparently you make them aware of this fact and they flip the fuck out as if they didn't know. Fuck my life, man. Seriously. Fuck my life. Anyway, some of you have asked about Patreon. I opened an account. See how it goes. The link is in the description, pinned comment, something like that. Thank you.